Hello everybody and welcome to Tech Uploaded. I'm Chris and this is TUVlog 13. Ooh, spooky. 13, which is appropriate since Halloween's almost here. It's already the 20th of October. I cannot believe how fast the time has gone. So basically, super behind. I recorded a video last week and, you know, I wasn't in a very good mood when I did it. And because of that, I decided to scrap it and start over. So really, this dates back quite a while. I took my little Sony CyberShot. You know, I can never remember the model number of this thing. They don't make it like super apparent anywhere on it. There it is, DSC WX300. So I took this in the car with me at like the end of September and kind of started the TUVlog there. So I'll show some of that shortly here. But a lot of the stuff I was talking about in there is already outdated. For example, Windows 9 was still Windows 9. It wasn't Windows 10 yet. Sorry, my nose was scratchy. My fall allergies are finally coming to a close as all the leaves and things are falling off the trees. But so I started the vlog there. And like I said, some of the things are outdated, so I'm just going to cut them out. I'll hit them, you know, shortly. But then I went to Dallas. So I was on the road for business. So it was an interesting trip. It was very hot and busy, but still had a pretty good time. Went to the aquarium while I was there and some other various things, so that was fun. What was really interesting, though, is my coworker's room was so much different than mine. She had like the worst toilet and the smallest bathroom in the world, and we had the same rate. I mean, it was $199 for both of us. And my room was pretty nice. It had a, well, you'll see it. There's an awkwardly placed refrigerator, but other than that, it was pretty normal, but her room was terrible. So we had a pretty good laugh about that, but other than that, I'll go ahead and roll the footage from the car ride into work from like 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna give this a new shot. Last time I did this, the audio from the camera was really bad in the car because it was picking up all the engine noise. So I've got the old lavalier mic, my giant squid lav, attached to me really close to the seat belt. So hopefully that doesn't snag up. But yeah, safety first. Wear your seat belt. So anyway, a lot of stuff has happened since the last time I recorded a TUVlog. Man, I feel like I went into a, we're shifting around here. I feel like I went into a, like time warp or something. It's like so much tech news, and I haven't really been talking about any of it. So obviously the big one, X99 came out and was, you know, I think pretty much what everybody expected it to be. And the 8-core was priced pretty much where everybody expected it to be. Field recorders are running around on me here. I think the one thing that surprised everybody was just how much performance people were getting out of the 8-core chip, and the growth potential of DDR4 is huge. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that platform grows and develops as we start moving into, you know, past the Haswell E, into upcoming Broadwell E, or whatever the heck follows the current chips now. But I think there's definitely a huge potential for growth there, and Intel is going to capitalize on every cent that they can of that. So, you know, I think it'll be around for a while, though. X79 had a really good run, and now would be a great time to invest in X99 if you're looking to upgrade and you need that kind of processing power. I'm still seeing a lot of people saying they're going to buy the 8-core X99. I forget what the chip number is, but basically the Extreme Edition Core i7 and use it for gaming. And there's just, I mean, go look for the benchmarks. There's no reason to do that. It's just a total waste of your money. So in that case, I would say, you know, if you've got a decent motherboard still, and like, you know, maybe you're running an Ivy Bridge or Sandy Bridge and you're still happy with it, wait for the Skylake chipsets and chips to hit, because then you're going to be able to do DDR4 without having to be on the Enthusiast chipset, which I think is going to be a lot more value oriented for someone that's just looking to game or do, you know, lighter work. I mean, I edit on a Core i7 4790K and I don't have any complaints, but I'm not doing 4K and I'm not doing heavy After Effects rendering or anything like that. So for me, you know, the 4-core 8-thread is just fine. That said, then you got the new GTX series chips out. The 900 series finally hit. And again, not surprising, the results on that. Very low power consumption, which after having used a 750 Ti, doesn't surprise me at all. But what is really cool is the fact that it stays really cool. The chips run way cooler than the current 700 series do. I mean, my 780 Ti with the reference design cooler, gets hot. I mean, that thing gets really, really hot. The stretch of road I'm on right now is notorious for cops catching speeders. So everybody likes to go super fast because it's a 4-lane highway, but the speed limit's only 40 miles an hour, and the cops knew that, and they just sit and peg people. So you'll be driving along, and people are riding your butt, and then quarter mile up the road, you'll see a grouping of them pulled over because they do that thing where they have a couple of cops that sit out, and they just point at you and pull you over and then write tickets en masse. So it always amazes me that people still haven't slowed down on this road, because every morning I see groups of people getting tickets. See, here's a cop, got somebody pulled over right up here. Never ceases to amaze me. And that guy passed me earlier, so come on, people, you gotta learn here. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, NZXT, this is interesting. They sent me a grouping of power supply, or not power supplies, but cooling, all-in-one cooling. I'm still thinking about power supplies from the graphics card talk. But they sent me the X31, the X41, the X61, the Kraken G10 GPU cooling bracket, and then I forget what the hub is called, but they sent me a fan hub as well. What's interesting is I did the testing on the X31 and the X41, and it was great. The coolers were super silent, they worked really well, everything was fine. Then I got to the X61, installed that last night to do the benchmarking, and lo and behold, the pump on it's bad. So actually, I recorded a clip of it, so I'll show that now. Also, I should have another case review coming up from Fractal. They're sending something my way, and then I'm going to be doing a rebuild of my FreeNAS box. Got a lot of grief from people when I did the first one due to the file system that FreeNAS uses, that I think it's like ZFS or whatever, that I did not use ECC memory, and that was apparently a really big no-no, and upon research, everybody's correct, that is a big no-no. So I got a motherboard that will support ECC. I got a Pentium G 3220, which the Pentium series does support ECC memory, and I'm just going to go ahead and rebuild it and then, you know, see what we get from there. But it wasn't cheap. The motherboard was like around $250 or $280. The processor was, you know, like $56 or something. But then the memory, of course, being ECC, wasn't cheap either. I think I got 8 gigabytes. So, and I'm going to throw in another Western Digital Red, or WD Red, in there now, just to kind of, you know, add a little bit more redundancy to it, add a second backup drive. So, okay, so it's a rare TUVlog on the road moment, and I'm at the Sheraton Dallas. So I'm in Texas right now for a conference. There's some great lighting right here, and I just thought I'd give a tour of the classy room here. And this is my favorite part right here. When you first walk into the room, you're greeted with this. So you've got this really real classy refrigerator here. You can see it's nice and dented up and looking pretty rough. I'm actually kind of afraid to open it. All right, there you go. I guess it is keeping things cold. But yeah, it's just kind of chilling here. And what's weird is it looks like there's a place where it really should have gone in here, but you know, what are you gonna do? But the good news is, other than that, the room's a pretty decent room. So I've got this little area over here with my coffee and my water bottle of water, and some ice. I think, I want to say it was Jerry Barnacles that had the idea of melting the ice and using that to drink. I can't remember, but I think it was Jerry. I thought about that, so thankfully the first bottle of water was free, so I'm good to go until I plow through that. I haven't been drinking since I've been here, so I'm not dehydrated. Drinking as an alcoholic beverage drinking. I'm drinking water though, so I should be okay for the rest of the night, but if not, I'll melt some ice. Then I have the world's largest headboard. Spans all the way across both beds. So yeah, there you go. I requested a large king-size bed, but instead I got 2 beds because I didn't have any rooms ready at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And finally I just had to get checked in somewhere, so they had to give me this room. And then I've got this nice desk area. It's kind of dark. Get some light up here. So I've got an area to get my work on, and then I can still see the TV somewhat, so that's good. And yeah, then they do have this interesting thing here. I don't even know if this is actually hooked up to anything, but it's got this little like area to hook up stuff via HDMI and whatnot. So if you had something like that, I guess you could plug it in there. But yeah, other than that, the bathroom's pretty decent too. But my coworker's room is completely different, so I'll actually put some pictures up of that while I get situated in the bathroom. But as you can see, it's echoey in there. In her room, her bathroom is horrible, and her room space is considerably smaller than mine. And we paid the same rate, so that's interesting. And here's my bathroom. So you can see I got my iPad when I'm getting ready in the morning, and nice big sink, and this lovely flower painting, or picture actually, and the shower. Couldn't think of the name of that for a minute. Shower bath, actually. But it's not the cleanest looking down there, so I don't think I'd be taking any baths. I mean, let's be real. Who really takes baths in hotel bathrooms? It's just kind of gross. I don't even like taking baths in my own bathroom. Toilet paper is kind of awkwardly placed, though. You gotta reach back to get to that, if you know what I'm talking about. And then, not very exciting, but the actual closet itself. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's been really, really hot in Dallas. Mid-90s. Walked to the aquarium today with my coworker Amber, and that was fun. So enjoyed doing that. But man, we got so sweaty on the way back that I actually ended up having to shower again in the middle of the day before I went back down to the conference because it was just so hot. But you know what? It's only like in the 50s, upper 50s, lower 60s right now in Indianapolis. So I'm not complaining because when I get home, I think it's going to be raining and in the 50s. So I kind of just embraced the mid-90s heat one last time before I go through what's supposed to be a super cold winter again. The other nice thing about hotels, I love all the pillows they give you. And since I have 2 beds, if I really wanted to go crazy, I could take my 4 existing pillows and combine them with these 4 pillows and then have just a bed of pillows. I could line the whole bed. The iPhone video really is terrible. It has a hard time focusing on my face, so I'm kind of looking in a mirror right now, and I think it's okay. I'm like tapping on the screen to try to get the focus, but anyway, I fly home tomorrow, and tomorrow is also my birthday, so it's going to be a super busy day. I've got to work the booth in the morning, tear the booth down, pack it up and ship it back, and then fly back to Indianapolis with a layover in Houston, so I should get home around 11 o'clock at night on my birthday. But hey, it's still my birthday, so I'm going to make the best of it and try to have some fun. I'm here with a really cool coworker, so that helps quite a bit. But anyway, it's a pretty nice evening out. It's in the low 80s, and it's only about 9 o'clock at night, so I think I'm going to go ahead and my battery, low battery. I'm reading that on the screen right now. This iPhone 5S battery, man, it's having a hard time getting through a full day anymore, especially with doing video. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a walk and then enjoy my luxury hotel bed and then enjoy my birthday. So by the time you see this, it'll have already passed, but hey, it hasn't happened yet. Internet time. Here are the lights in the Indianapolis International Airport. They're kind of interesting. They light up as you walk underneath of them. Or they usually do. Right now I think they're just doing some weird pattern. But yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. So yeah, the big takeaway from that was the X61 Kraken from NZXT. The review for that was supposed to be up already, and I ran into kind of a snag with it. When I installed it, there was that rattling sound I mentioned in the video, and that I showed in the video, and that's actually, I recorded that today when I showed the example, and it's not nearly as loud as it was when I installed it. I've just been kind of rolling the dice and letting it go. I thought I was going to get a replacement from NZXT, and then I was in talks with them about it. They were going to send me an RMA label to send this one back, and then it was going to be kind of a pain in the butt because I was going to have to switch it out and, you know, do all the fans again and do the testing again. But you know what? Haven't heard back from them since. I'm just going to close out the review and, you know, just say the way that it is. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe if I just keep running it, it'll eventually just work out whatever its problem is. But I'm probably going to switch it out because I've got some stuff that knocked to a cent to review, so I'll probably just pull it and use one of those again. But anyway, it was a fun experiment nonetheless. It's just too bad because my X60 had a bad bracket, and the X61 seems to have kind of a squirrely pump. So I don't know. That quality control on that kind of leaves a bit to be desired. But the 31 and 41 were just fine. So man. And I have to admit, as jealous as I was initially of all the X99 coverage people were doing and the sample boards and the DDR4 everybody was getting, man, I got burnt out on it so fast, and I'm kind of glad I actually didn't get anything into review. The one interesting thing was Brian from Tech Yes City actually did a video that not very many people did, and he took the low-end Haswell E, and tested that, whereas everybody else was doing like the 8-core beast, and he went with the lower end model and kind of saw how much you could overclock that, and still got good performance and productivity related things, but you know, pretty much across the board, what I said months ago, you know, unless you're going to be doing productivity level work, you really don't need it. As a matter of fact, the 4790K beats out the Haswell E-chips in some gaming benchmarks. So it really just depends on what your needs are going to be. If you're a gamer, stick with an i5 or an i7. You'll be just fine. But X99, very impressed. Lots of room to grow. DDR4 has a long way to go. I mean, you think back to where DDR3 was when it came out and where we're closing out now. Some of the speeds are kind of crazy on DDR3. So we got a long way to go with DDR4, and I think there's going to be a lot of pretty impressive stuff coming down the line with that particular architecture. I mean, look at how long X79 was around. I think X99 is going to serve us well for years to come. So not a bad investment if you're a content creator. Now, I have to say, this is a great time to be buying two things. If you are looking for a really good GPU at a decent price, man, you really are in a good place right now. The 700 series, the price has been slashed on those. The 900 series chips are getting really good reviews, especially the 970, and that is a very budget-oriented chip when you consider how much speed you actually get out of that chip. You can probably hear the cat. He's upset about something. Probably that I'm not talking to him. Are you upset? Yeah, he's walking around. But anyway, so the 970 is a really good deal. As a matter of fact, the 280, yeah, the R9 285 from AMD is actually doing really well in a lot of the tests I'm seeing on that. And the FX series chips got an update, so there's now the they had the 8350, now there's the 8370. So that dropped the price on the 8350 and 8320 pretty substantially. As a matter of fact, the 8320 right now is a really sweet spot to be at on a 990 chipset, I think, if you're looking for a budget build. And as a matter of fact, if I was to redo the budget gaming builds again now, I might spend that little bit of extra money actually to just do that over going with the Athlon chip that I went with on the FM2 Plus. That chip got a refresh as well. There's now the 860K, and I use the 760K, so good time to be buying CPUs. Good time to be buying GPUs. Lots of high-end options out there, lots of mid-end options out there, and low-end as well. I mean, it's going into the holidays. There's, you know, get your Christmas list ready, or Hanukkah, or whatever religion you are. Other interesting thing, Ecobee. They make a thermostat, and they were one of the early people to make one of the smart connected thermostats. And if you go on, and I remember when I was looking at getting my Nest initially, I went online and started looking at a lot of forums, and a lot of HVAC professionals were saying, the Nest is crap, don't deal with it. It's not a true air quality control device. It doesn't measure as many things. The algorithms that it uses aren't all that great. The away mode's kind of questionable. And everybody was recommending an Ecobee, and I'm like, what the hell's an Ecobee? I've never heard of this before. And it's really supposed to be professionally installed. I did mine myself, but it was pretty involved. It wasn't just pulling the old thermostat off the wall and plugging a new one in. You actually had to put a control box in your HVAC room on the actual unit, run new cabling. Then your cabling in the house had to be pretty recent. You had to run that to the actual Ecobee. But, you know, it was one of the early models, and everybody really liked it. They did come out with one that was a little bit more simplified a couple years later, but now they're going all out. They've got the Ecobee 3, and they're trying to go after, you know, Nest and Honeywell and all the other smart thermostats. But what's interesting is they updated the software for the original Ecobee owners as well, at least for my iPhone. And I'm going to show a video now. What you're seeing on the actual thermostat, that's literally what the software looked like on the iPhone. I mean, it was just a perfect replica of exactly what the thermostat looked like. And it was kind of wonky because you had to have it, you know, in the landscape mode. And, you know, some things weren't all that responsive, and it just really looked dated. But now the new one, the new software, it's just, you know, pretty much black and white. It's a lot snappier. It's a lot cleaner looking, and this is pretty much what the interface looks like on the Ecobee 3. So it's good to see them getting some attention, because I've been super happy with my Ecobee thermostat, and the reporting and the web portal and all that stuff's really good. So I was hoping to get my hands on an Ecobee 3 and see what the installation process was like with that versus what it was with the Ecobee. But yeah, I haven't heard back from them, so I guess we'll stick with the original, which is fine because it was such a pain to install. I probably don't want to take it apart again anyway. And then, of course, Windows 10. Skipping over Windows 9, just like we skipped over the 800 series chipset, at least on the desktop side with NVIDIA, and just going all out. Microsoft says it's so new and impressive that it just doesn't deserve to be called 9. It's skipping to 10 because it wants to really, grab your attention, Windows 10. But essentially, from what I can see right now, they've turned Virtual Desktop on. The function gets turned on. You have the start menu kind of back. It's like the mix of the Metro, what they used to call the Metro interface, and then the tiles crunched down into the corner. So I don't know. I'll probably take a look at it on one of the budget gaming builds that's still kind of sitting over here. I'm actually going to rebuild those. I have some products to take a look at. I have a Core Series case from Fractal that I got to knock out, and I'm probably going to do a build in that using the best of both world components from when I did that budget build like I talked about before, and put that in the case, and then maybe throw Windows 10 on that, kind of have some fun with that as a test bed, and see how the developer preview is coming along. I know it was a little bit buggy when it first came out the door, so we'll see if things have improved at all since that's been going along. So like I said, I've got some stuff to review. The X61, I got to finish up that review. They did send a G10 bracket as well, so that's really dusty. That's been sitting around for a while. And this is the most interesting thing, in a weird way, that I have ever received for review from Noctua. It is a 10mm fan. I opened it up and I'm like, oh, look at that thing. Look at that little guy. He's so small. And I noticed that Noctua, they did update their packaging a little bit. They did send some fans that I already had. I think they sent an NFF12, and it has the new packaging design, which kind of goes over the blade design and why it's better, and the airflow, acceleration, and the hydraulic pressure. There's a whole breakdown in here of why these fans are so much better, which is good because I felt like they kind of glossed over it a little bit before, and then you can open up the back and there's even more information. So they sent me a whole slew of fans, but this was the most interesting one right here, the 10mm. So yeah, I don't really know how I'm gonna test this, but it's gonna be pretty funny because it'll just be sitting on the desk going like, I don't know, find something to do with it, I guess. So anyway, like I said at the beginning, the channel, it took a little bit of a break, and there's a few reasons for that. Work has been super busy. I've been on the road a lot, and it's October, so it's my favorite time of year, and I had a birthday in the middle of all of that, so 31 now, and just kind of had some stuff going on in my personal life that I felt took priority over the channel. And when I started doing this, it's not something I'm doing to make a living off of, so as soon as it starts to become not fun, that's when I step away, because I don't want to force myself into doing this. And I kind of did that last week when I was trying to get the TUVlog out, and it was very evident in the final product that I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling good about it, and I just wasn't in a great mood. And if I'm not in a good mood, I don't want to record videos because it comes through in the video. So that said, knock on wood, being superstitious, feeling better this week. So looking forward to knocking out some of the review samples that I have waiting to be done, and then finally redo my NAS box. I need to get that done with that ECC memory. That's been a project that's been sitting for a while, and it's one I'm actually going to use, so I need to get to that. But all in all, I'm excited. The camera might be shaking, the cat's rubbing on stuff. You can see the cat's trying to get on my lap now. He's getting very worked up. So I better wrap it up before I have an uprising on my hands here. He's upset because I've been on the road. So you know the drill as always. If you enjoyed this video or any of the other videos, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter over at TechUploaded. And I'm on the Facebook at TechUploaded Facebook.com/TechUploaded. Backwards. And of course, you can always shoot me an email at techuploaded@gmail.com. I have fallen behind on the comments and on a lot of those areas. I'm trying to catch up today, actually. So some of you hopefully have heard back from me now. But anyway, you know the drill. Even though I'm a stranger, you try not to be. Check back soon.